On today's episode of The Daily Dullard, we got this stupid-ass bitch. Why a woman's doctor warned her not to get pregnant in Texas. So I'm going to read a little bit of this and then I'm going to play some of this interview. 9 years ago, Cade Despain messaged a friend about a cute girl he saw on her Facebook feed. The friend introduced him to Kaylee Lingo, her sorority sister at Tarleton blah blah blah, who cares. A month after the college graduation, Kaylee and Cade married in Marble Falls, Texas. They're both proud to be native Texans. Kaylee's family has lived there for 3 generations, and Cade's ancestors are among Texas's old 300, the original families that joined Stephen Austin to settle the area in the 1800s. At the time, the Despains were both passionately anti-abortion. I was just your quintessential pro-life Texan, Kaylee, 29, told CNN in a recent interview. I was raised in Central Texas by extremely Republican parents and grandparents. Cade, 31, 100% pro-life. 100% pro-life. Yeah, anti-abortion. I think abortion's a murder, and I'm pro-life until it happens to me. So I want to play this clip here, this interview, because it's got some juicy stuff in it. Now, again, I just want to say, obviously I don't want anyone to go through what this person is going through, obviously, duh, right? But I would rather people that generated and orchestrated this exact outcome to be the ones to face it instead of innocent bystanders who knew how bad this was the whole way. So I just want to say, I do smile when I see Republicans vote for things and then they get what they voted for and then they cry about it because it hurts them because they're too fucking stupid to understand that beforehand. I gotta be honest. I do enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's fun. And I hope she learned a fucking lesson. But anyway, let's watch this.
Jane got married in Marble Falls, Texas, right out of college.
What were your plans for having a family?
Oh man, we wanted kids like right away.
Late last year, Kaylee, a third-grade teacher, and her husband, Cade, an electrician, were
Think
thrilled
about this. A third-grade teacher who is a quintessential pro-life Republican. If that doesn't scare the shit out of you, if that doesn't scare the fucking shit out of you, a quintessential pro-life Republican. Also, they're teaching your kids.
To learn she was pregnant. But about 4 months later, at a doctor's appointment,
He said, this is what a normal heart looks like, but this is what your baby's heart looks like. And he was missing heart chambers.
her medical records show more. The fetus had an extra set of chromosomes, a severe brain defect, a severe heart defect, and his lungs were too small. Dr. Leah Tatum is a spokesperson for the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists.
If the fetus develops to term, that fetus will deliver and ultimately that baby will suffocate and pass away.
Kaylee's doctor was clear.
When he's born, he's going to suffocate to death. He may live for a few minutes, he may live for an hour, but he is going to die.
Her doctors said they could not perform an abortion, noting in her records termination is not legal in the state of Texas.
I remember her saying, the course of action that I would have taken with a patient a year ago would be to advise them to terminate. She said that is the safest course of action for you, and it's the most humane course of action for him. And I just remember being so angry and shocked in that moment that I'm being told that my child's not going to survive and that I have to carry him to term no matter what.
And carrying him to term could have put Kaylee's life in danger. She was at high risk for several potentially deadly pregnancy complications, blood clots, preeclampsia, and cancer because of an abnormal placenta. Texas law allows for abortion if the mother has a life-threatening physical condition that places her at risk of death or substantial impairment. But
So once again, I'm not sure what the CNN thing is going to go into, but once again, the exemption thing, it doesn't mean anything because you have to prove that, yes, this person was going to die. How do you prove that? How do you prove that? If you do the abortion and the mother survives, well, You did the abortion. She's standing right there. How do you prove she was going to die otherwise? You can't. You can't. It is impossible. And therefore, what they do is they tack on these exemptions, right? Because it makes them look a little better, right? A little bit. Not really, but a little bit. But it doesn't actually mean anything. And doctors are not going to risk their entire career. And especially in Texas, a doctor will be sent to jail on felony charges. They're not going to risk going to jail for some random bitch, especially not a Republican, right? You know, at least in my position, right? Hey, if I'm going to risk my life, not going to be for a fucking Republican, okay?
Texas lawmakers haven't spelled out exactly what that means.
They're extremely vague. They don't spell out exactly the situations when an abortion can be provided. I would say it's the opposite. They're extremely restrictive and broad. They threaten criminal penalties against physicians. They threaten to take someone's medical license away.
The Despains were faced with a choice. Kaylee could risk her life and give birth to a baby who would die quickly, or go out of state and have an abortion.
How could you be so cruel as to pass a law that you know will hurt women?
So again, now, I'm all for, you know, people getting fucked up by the things that they support, realizing, oh shit, I was lied to, and then correcting their beliefs. That's great. That's great. But again, like, these people are having kids. Like, until this, like, they were having kids. Like, until the whole fucked up pregnancy thing happened, they were still on board. They were still on board. And again, it's one thing. You don't know much about politics. You don't know much about these things. Then guess what? You shouldn't have a strong opinion on something if you haven't done the research. It's one thing. It's like, oh, you know, I was raised pro-life, but I haven't really looked into it. Honestly, I don't know. I respect that. You know what? You're wrong. You should look into it. But you know what? You don't know that much about the situation, and you don't have a fucking hard opinion about it. That's great, okay? I'm sick and tired of these dumb motherfuckers that have these really passionate, outspoken beliefs that they've never done an ounce of research on, right? And it's sad. It's sad. But again, honestly, you know, again, I want people to look at this. Now, again, I see this person crying, and I'm thinking, fuck yeah, baby. Right? But again, ultimately, she deserves it, right? I hope she's suffering in the short term. I hope she cries about it a lot. I hope she regrets every moment of her life that she's ever espoused a Republican position. Then I hope she takes a shower, cleans herself off, and gets started on working to prevent this from ever happening for other people. That's my opinion, but let's keep going.
And that you know will cause babies to be born in pain. He was going to die a painful death. So how is that humane? How is that saving anybody?
They decided to travel to New Mexico. Texas law prohibits insurance companies from paying for abortions in most cases, so Cade said he had to convince a relative to give them thousands of dollars.
My job as a husband is to protect and love my wife.
Okay, what if you couldn't afford thousands of dollars, right? I'm glad that the super happy Republican white people can just dial up their friends and family for thousands of dollars. What if you don't have friends or family? Or what if you don't have friends or family that have thousands and thousands of dollars to give you for their stupid fucking goddamn voting actions? What if you don't have that? What if you're stuck in the heart of Texas and you can't get the fuck out? What do? Oh, you do nothing. You suffer, die, give birth to something that suffers and dies, and there's no recourse. So I'm happy for them that they just had someone that can bail them out of this situation that they dug themselves into.
If I'm not fighting to keep her here, then I failed.
The doctors recorded the baby's heartbeat. Kaylee sleeps with the giraffe at night and cries, mourning the loss of her baby and another loss too. She and Cade were born and raised in Texas.
And I've never felt more betrayed by a place that I was once so proud to be from.
These are the policies that you supported the entire way through. You were proud to be from Texas because you were on the oppressing end of its political policies, right, of its political policy. You were on the oppressing end. Now you're on the oppressed end, and you don't like it so much. So maybe, now again, I hate when these people, I'm not saying this about this person, but I hate when people get proven to be incorrect on something, right? And it doesn't somehow shake all of their core identity and their political beliefs, right? Like if you were wrong about abortion, what else are you wrong about? Like you think, oh, Republicans are right about everything except for this now? Or maybe you should be thinking about, oh, what else did I get brainwashed into believing? Because if they're this wrong about this, what else are Republican politicians lying to me about? What else are they wrong about? What else did they lie to me about that I now currently believe? I would be doing a full autopsy of my political beliefs if I were this person.
Desperately want to have another baby, but there's a high likelihood that something will go wrong again.
The last time that I saw my OB, she said, do not get pregnant in Texas right now. She said, this is not safe.
Now Kaylee and Kate have to decide, abide by that advice and leave Texas, leave their families and their jobs, or stay in Texas and risk Kaylee's life once again. Elizabeth Cohen, CNN, Cleburne, Texas.
I just want to say shout outs to that dog. But again, now, all right, I just want to provide a third way here. Why do you need to have kids? Adopt a kid. There's plenty. I mean, hey, look at all the forced births going on. Why don't you adopt a kid? Why do the weirdest motherfuckers on planet Earth are always insistent that they themselves have to pass on their genetics? No, you don't. No, you don't. There's plenty of beautiful white babies for the domestic infant supply that you can choose from. You don't need to use your genetic code. You can't have a kid. Oh no, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to leave Texas. Go adopt. Go ask your family for the thousands of dollars required to adopt. So, I don't know, man. To me, this is a completely manufactured crisis. Right? They voted for politicians that fucked them over, and now they're reaping what they sowed. And again, this is why I say this. Like, stupidity is not like a permanent disease. Right? You can be dumb as a fucking fuck, right? And then you could not be dumb a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, after reading, learning, talking to more people, studying history, right? Stupidity is temporary, right? Now, again, you can have stupidity for your entire life. That's very possible. I mean, look at the planet, right? But you can also grow out of it. So when I say most Americans are fucking stupid motherfuckers, I'm not saying that as like a way to scorn them and shun them forever. I'm saying that because they are factually, objectively, by every metric, dumb fuck shit for brains. And again, when they stop being stupid, that's great. When someone opens up a book and learns something, that's wonderful. When someone takes a class, that's wonderful. When someone tries to look into why things are the way that they are, when someone looks into history, when someone looks at a deep dive at all their politicians' votes and what they do and what they stand for, and then decide, that's wonderful. And we can't just keep placating stupid motherfuckers, because they're going to find out eventually how dumb they are. And either they find out the hard way after millions of innocent people have to deal with finding out the hard way just how dumb other people are, or we just prevent that stuff from happening in the first place. So anyway, stupid fucking bitch. And I hope she rethinks her political position.